Court is now in session. The People versus the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones will now be heard here in SportsbookReview.com's courtroom. I am the Honorable Judge Donnie Rightside here, and I will be sitting on this case once again as a bench trial. I'll be judge, jury, and executioner in the Thursday night football game tonight. But I do want to make one thing clear here. The last game that was brought in front of me, the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans here, we do have an objection to that. It's going through the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, to try to get it reversed here and have that game as a -7 as opposed to a 7.5 that we laid with the Baltimore Ravens. I'll let you know with some further appearances to see if we can get that court case overturned. Now, tonight, Thursday Night Football, NFC East battle. We have the prosecution, we have witnesses, we have lawyers all lined up and signed, sealed documentation that we will shortly be getting to here. But I want to make one thing clear in my courtroom here today, folks. One thing clear and one thing clear only. I am an impartial judge. It does not matter that the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys are suiting up tonight, both at 5 and 6. What in this courtroom today would give you the appearance that I'm not going to give an impartial trial and let everybody be here with the same fairness? Nothing that I've ever stated or done or showed as any evidence that shows I would be impartial to any of this. Let it be known with the court record here, I strike this, that it does not matter that Judge Donnie Rightside is a season ticket holder for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'd like to enter this into evidence. That does not matter here. This is the court of law. This is the court of sports booking law at SportsbookReview.com, which I take very, very seriously here at SportsbookReview.com. Judge Donnie Rightside will now hear the case, The People versus Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, docket number 301-302. What's at stake? Both are 5 and 6, both probably heading to Neverland here at this point, folks. Can we be serious here? I asked everybody to approach in the judge's chamber and lay out their absolute best arguments and stuff that we would let the jury hear if it needs to go past a bench trial. We're going to enter this into evidence right now. Signed and sealed from the Attorney General himself. We're going to read some evidence here between the two teams. And of course I'm going to make a ruling on this football game here. Judge, jury, executioner, Judge Donnie Rightside. Washington 5 and 6 straight up. Washington this year 5 and 6 versus the spread. 3 and 2 against the spread away. Not too bad. 2 and 4 straight up in their last 6 ball games. Very relevant information. Over in 6 of last late games. I will accept that. 12 and 4 against the spread. Last 16 on the road. I'm going to let that stand here. I'm not going to make a ruling on that or strike that from the record. 15 and 7 against the spread. Last 22 games versus Dallas. You know what? Strike that from the record. Irrelevant information. Irrelevant. I'm not going to allow Tony Romo, RG3, Jason Campbell statistics to impugn my courtroom here. We're going to keep it by the book and keep it relevant tonight. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys. 6 and 12 ATS, last 18 games. Relevant information. Dak Prescott has pretty much been the quarterback for those 18 games. We'll let that slide. Let that slide on the court record. Under 4 or 5 at home. 1 and 4 last 5 games against the spread at home. Dallas, 1 and 9 against the spread last 10 home games versus the Skins. Tony Romo information is not going to be relevant today in this case or this argument here that we are going to hear. Let's get into some facts now. Great information that was provided here for us. Let's take a look at the game itself. As I peruse through the court documents, one of the most egregious things that we're going to look at in this football game tonight, folks, when presenting this case. The health of both football teams. Massive injuries on both sides. Just look at the Washington Redskins themselves. Starters being put away at this point. Jordan Reed, Terrell McClain, Morgan Moses, Zach Brown, Brandon Scherff, Jamison Crowder, Trent Williams, Samaje Perine, Lavallo, Long, Pryor, Thompson, Kelly. The list goes on and on and on. That's what we've gotten from the prosecution. Taking a look at Dallas itself. Sean Lee. Doesn't look like he's going to be in this ballgame tonight, folks. Ezekiel Elliott. Not in this ballgame, folks. Justin Durant, he's also out. We haven't seen a lot from the Dallas Cowboys. Let's take 5-game snapshots here, which I did allow into court here today. Washington versus Dallas, 33-19 loser. In the rain, that's with Zeke Elliott. At Seattle, nice hard-fought victory, 17-14. Minnesota losing at home, 38-30. New Orleans losing 34-31 in that football game. And then you have the Giants game on Thanksgiving last week, folks. 20-10. Let's take a look at the Dallas Cowboys there. I do want to strike from the record the wins versus Kansas City and Washington for them. No Ezekiel Elliott. You can't use it. No Sean Lee. Don't use it. Go to Atlanta. Get beat 27-7. Philadelphia 37-9. 28-6 versus the Chargers. In those last 2 games, folks. No kicker available. pretty much for the Philadelphia Eagles or the Los Angeles Chargers at that point. Now, when we take a look at a game, you want a matchup here, and I will allow this in the evidence. Norman at quarterback versus Dez Bryant, fantastic matchup. I think the advantage is going to go to the Washington Redskins in this case. Washington Redskins should have a decent pass rush versus that offensive line versus Dallas that has struggled over the past couple football games. If we take a look from a Dallas perspective here, it's hard to bet against them. Why? Running backs do matter in my courtroom. I want to put this in and put an emphasis. Court reporter, listen. Star running backs do matter in this courtroom here for SportsbookReview.com. That is the law of the land. No Sean Lee tonight. Went over it there. Banged up offensive line. What's going to take place in this game? If we look right now at the prevailing numbers, which I will allow once again in the evidence, 70% of the betting public is betting the Washington Redskins here tonight. The line is at 1.5, sitting at Pinnacle and Chris and Bet Online at the time of filming today. When I was just a young judge sitting on the bench, I heard one thing from the great Johnny Cochran in the OJ trial, where, as I said, I was a junior judge. And the great Johnny Cochran said, if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. In this same terminology tonight, I would like to go back to that as well. Everybody approach the judge. We're about to make the ruling here on this football game tonight between Washington and Dallas in the SportsbookReview.com courtroom. The one thing that I was lasting and the one thing I heard, maybe the best piece of evidence here that's been used, Johnny Cochran went this route. If Sean Lee is not there, you must not be square. Ready for the ruling. Bailiff, bring everybody up. Ruling tonight, judgment for the Washington Redskins, -1.5. The People's Court have spoken. For everything football, National Football League, college football, check out SportsbookReview.com. You are dismissed.